Alright, welcome back. This is part 3 of a series on flow rope and Wing Chun. In the first video we covered general holding of the patterns, holding of the rope by our wrists, using the overhand pattern to create bong saos and tan saos, and turning bong saos and tan saos. In the second video we talked about using underhand patterns like this, creating gan saos and cow saos. Alright, now today we're going to talk about two-handed usage of the rope. This part probably will take everybody quite a while to get. I'm going to get pretty advanced with it. I want to cover a lot of ground, but the movements are not that complicated. It's just putting everything together is hard. So the movements we're going to talk about today are the overhand figure eight. So this is overhand figure eight. So it's the same as if I hold the rope in one hand and do this, like we were doing with our bong and tan. But now I'm doing it with two hands, and I'm crossing my hands and creating more space. Okay, so this is an overhand figure eight, and then this is an overhand matador. So I will put links in how to learn these moves. The overhand matador is just a loop, and then you figure eight to the other side. So it's actually bong sao, bong sao, bong sao, bong sao. Okay, so these are moves in the overhand direction, and I'll do it now on the frontal plane so it's clear, actually towards the camera. This move is, so I'm spinning the rope on one side, and then I cross. Spinning the rope on the other side, then I cross. So the idea is you fix one hand, you cross to the other. You fix one hand, you cross to the other. Now you'll see people in the flow rope community, they'll do it like this, because there's different kinds of steering. So this is like, you can do like an overhand steer, you can do an inside steer like this, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can do an elbow steer like this, which I actually really like as well for Wing Chun ideas. But for the most part, I'm going to be steering it like a bong sao, or like a broken punch, like a punch that turns into bong sao. So that's how I usually steer it for Wing Chun purposes, unless I'm doing elbows, which I'll discuss in a different video. So that's the motion. And you probably will notice that on my left side I don't do a good job with it, and sometimes I fly out like that, which is why my left shoulder is damaged and has problems when I do bong sao. So I've been working on that, and flow rope has actually been helping a lot. So this is the pattern, overhand matador. The other pattern we're going to use is underhand matador. Same thing in the other direction. This is an underhand figure eight, so I'm just going side to side. Now I start a loop on one side, and I cross. Cross. Again, anchoring the arm that's now doing the work, so it stays, and the other arm does the work. And again, you can see people doing it in all kinds of ways. You can steer it like this, like a tennis swing. You can do a golf swing with this. You can do uppercuts with this. So, uppercut. Uppercut. Okay? The way that I do it for Wing Chun purposes is more like an uppercut, because I'm doing more of like a lifting punch idea. You watch my hands. They're on the tan sao track, doing a lifting punch. They're not doing this. My body is moving back and forth, which is creating that illusion, but my hand is on that same track. Alright, so underhand, I do this. As I come from this side, I do this. I bring it up. So it's still on the same track. And of course, as with all things, I try to create the motion from my legs, using my torso, and only using my wrists to steer the rope a little bit. Okay, so that's the underhand. Now we're going to combine these, and we're going to use it to work on footwork. I'm on an uneven surface here, so it's hard to demonstrate. Sometimes I trip or don't have my weight in the right place. But I'm going to try to keep my weight on my rear foot in a Wing Chun way. And as I stand here and do my front, my overhand matadors, or bong saos, I'm standing like this. Bong sao, right? All my weight's there. Now, without changing the way the rope is traveling, it's traveling forward, I'm going to turn and face the camera. So as I turn and face the camera, the rope is still going in the same direction as it was, but now it's a front plane propeller. So here it's my side plane going forward, here it's my front plane. Nothing changed about the rope, just my body changed. Now I'm going to face the other way. As I face this way, the rope has become an underhand motion. Underhand, just like we were doing on the other side, on the other video. This is underhand now, right? So by changing my body, I change the orientation of the rope. What that means is, I start with bong saos here, I transition to this loop, then I transition to this side. Now I am in my underhand lifting punches, or tan saos, or however you want to think about this. Okay, same thing here. I should have my weight here so I can work without my foot. It's a lot harder when you're swinging a rope because you're challenging your weight, your balance. And once you have both of these patterns figured out pretty nicely, you can combine it into what's commonly called the Maki roll, which means you just continue this pattern and you're doing kind of 2 beats of each. So you're going to go 1, 2, switch, 1, and then 2 on this side. It's actually however many you like, but typically it's done like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There's a bunch of variations of this idea, but the point of the idea is more so in your leg than it is in the hands. You do have to have really good coordination and be really good at these matadors before you even attempt this. But the point of it is actually to work on your footwork. Now, if you pay attention to my feet, I am trying to do essentially a Chum turn. So I'm starting when I'm here, I have 45-45 going in. When I'm here, my legs are 45 in that direction while I'm facing to the 90 degrees to the camera, and this is my front, right? So I'm front this way, then I turn and I face the camera. See, my feet are now facing the camera. Now I only pivot my front foot, and now I'm in my underhands facing that way. So here is how I'm achieving my Chum turn. Boom, boom. Right? And in each case, what's good is if you're learning this, and really for anybody, is to stay on one side for a while, make sure you're in the right balance position, feel out that you have engagement on your front leg, feel the weight on your back leg, turn the other way, same thing. Are we actually in the right place? Do we have engagement? Is our weight in the right place? And just start to work these turns. As you get better at this, you can graduate to a heavier rope. With a heavier rope, it's really a lot more interesting because you start getting really pulled off balance if you're not doing it right. And you'll also notice that your shoulders are going to burn if you're doing it wrong. So if you're doing all of this with your shoulders and you're doing too much of this, you're going to have a problem. You really have to direct the motion of the rope from your core and your legs. It has to come from here the whole time. So as I move my core, my shoulder blade and my whole arm moves because of my core and because of that engagement. So if you have that, it'll be a lot easier to manipulate the rope. If you don't have that, your shoulders are going to get tired. So this is the Maki roll. You can play around with it, and then you can eventually start to also change sides. You're taking steps, and you can change sides, change directions, play around with the footwork, do all kinds of stuff.